Join us on this tea time chat where we share our authentic perspectives on all things spiritual.
It's real, it's raw, it's unfiltered.
A quick note before we begin. The views shared in this podcast are our personal perspectives and are intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. This podcast is not medical, psychological, legal, or financial advice. Please use your own discernment and consult a qualified professional where appropriate.
Hello and welcome to today's episode number 5. Today's episode is called SOS, I'm Stuck in the Dark. And we're going to be diving a little deeper into the topic of the dark night of the soul. Now, we touched upon this back in episode 3, I believe.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen episode 3, I highly recommend you go back and watch it. But we're going to dive a little deeper today. And I just want to put a little warning out that, this is going to be a little bit of a heavier episode today. We're going to dive in and it may trigger some people. And if you're not ready for that, and it's okay, you can always come back and watch this episode another time. But I promise you that this is very important, very valuable, and is tremendously helpful on your healing journey if that's where you're at right now. So before we start...
Oh, sorry, just to add,
Oh.
if there's any little ears around, this is probably not an episode that you want to be listening to out loud.
Yes, thank you for that, Cynthia. Good idea. So before we dive in, I want to just set the intention for the episode today. I ask that all of the information that we receive, that we are guided to share, and that we put out there for you is always in the highest light and love for all. And so it is. Thank you. And Cynthia is just going to bring in some vibrational sound for us as well. Thank you, Cynthia. That feels good.
It feels good.
Yes.
Yeah. Love it.
So, yeah. So big
Here
topic
we go.
today. Big topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cynthia, let's just revisit the topic of the dark night of the soul because it's a really, really big topic. Everybody's talking about it. There's lots of information out there about it, but we just want to bring more clarity to it and help bring a bit of a deeper understanding. But if you want to just review what we talked about in episode 3, sort of like what is the dark night of the soul, and like what are people feeling right now? What are some things that people might be going through that might indicate they're going through a dark night of the soul?
Yeah. So Dark Night of the Soul is for me, it has always been like a shifting of my energy, a transformation, a shedding of my old, finding my new true self again. So what I just want to share some things that we wrote down because I feel like they're really great. Have you ever felt like nothing makes sense anymore? That was, that was huge
That's a
for
big
me.
one.
Like
Big one.
things that used to work just don't anymore. These are all signs that you are in or entering the dark night. Normalizing feelings of emptiness, disconnection, confusion, loss of meaning.
Yeah.
These are all, I don't know. I guess I just don't know how to explain it.
Well, I don't know.
Because
like
it's like really
it is so individual and
hard
unique for each person. But I mean, if you don't mind, I'll just add in some other
Yeah.
things. Like all of that is correct. But ultimately, yes, like when you're going through this transformation, it's going to feel confusing. It's going to be jarring or shocking. You're going to go through maybe bouts of depression or anger or fear or things that, like you mentioned, just you're not connected or aligned with things anymore. Like
Yeah.
maybe relationships that you once had are no longer
Oh, yeah,
resonating,
like friendships? Oh my gosh.
friendships,
So many friendships lost.
yes, like even or foods or
Yeah.
situations or beliefs. And you have this shift in how you experience your day to day, because what you once thought or did or had or experienced no longer feels right.
Yeah.
And you're asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel
Yeah.
like this? I mean, depression is a really big part of this. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
that it's a like depresses in like a diagnosis of depression. It may or may not be. It's just a feeling that you go through. And yeah, some people go through an actual depression.
Yeah, can I share a story? Because I
Yeah.
feel like sharing a story is sort of how I can express
100%.
my experience, and then I mean everybody is different, right? So,
Mm.
but I had like a tumor in my leg, and I had surgery, and I couldn't walk for 6 months. Anyway, because the tumor was so big, I guess, it was pretty destructive, and I had a lot of they had to remove a bunch of my tendon, and I lost some quad muscle, and basically I couldn't my what I was used to doing was
Mhm.
different, so I had a lot of limitations to what I could do, and I thought I would be better. Like this was a year later. I was like, the whole idea of this, I thought, oh, just they'll cut it out. I'll be better. It'll be fine. But what happened is it completely changed what I was able to do. And that triggered a depression
Mhm.
to the point where I was like, I'm not getting, I didn't want to get out of bed. I was crying all the time. Um, when I had the surgery, it was on oxycodone pills
Mhm.
because like the pain it was pretty bad, I guess, when you cut open a bone. Um, but within 5 days, I didn't need the pills anymore. And back then, I was like, happy and fine because the surgery just happened, and I was like, oh, I'm fine, I'll be
Mhm.
okay. So I took it back to the pharmacy. I'm like, I don't need these pills anymore. Fast forward a year, I'm in my depression, and I'm like, I want those pills.
Mm.
I like was like looking through the drawers, and I was like, where did those pills go? And then my husband's like, well, we returned them to the pharmacy. So like the addiction part, like I
Yeah.
needed something to numb the pain that I was experiencing, the emotional pain, not the physical pain. There was
Yeah.
physical pain, but the emotional
Yeah.
pain, the feeling of like, what the fuck just happened to my life?
Mhm.
I'm
It got
young.
turned upside
I
down.
wanted to start a
Yeah.
family, and all of a sudden my life is like, nope, you're going to go through this whole thing instead.
Yeah.
Like, it was awful. Like,
Yeah.
so you're in this, but it was the catalyst
Mhm.
for my awakening,
Yeah.
because who I was then was not who my soul truly wanted to be. I was a byproduct of my childhood trauma,
Mm.
of the environment, of all that stuff that was put on me, that I sheltered myself and became who I needed to be to survive. And this was the catalyst to strip all that shit away so that I could finally find who I truly was.
Yeah.
And it took 10 years. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not saying everybody's going to go through this massive thing
Mhm.
or it's going to
Mhm.
take that long, but just to tell you, I was so down that I was seeking drugs.
Mhm.
And it, if it weren't for the beautiful employers that I had at the time, they they saw the depression and they said, like, please go see a counselor. And there was a counselor in the same building,
Mhm.
like ironically or divinely
Right.
orchestrated.
Mhm.
So I did. I went over there and I said, I need help. I just went in, talked to the receptionist, and I just said, I need help. I don't know. I've never done this. I need help. And from there, I found a beautiful counselor, and I started realizing that everything that was happening was internal, inner child trauma. So, like, I thought it was outer, the reason I'm so
Yeah.
depressed and I'm
Yeah.
so angry and I just don't want to live anymore. I thought it's because, I had all these limitations with my leg. And it was like, no, no, no. It was all
Yeah.
related to inner child.
So I just received existential crisis.
Mm,
That's what you were in.
yeah.
It was this complete breakdown
Yeah.
of everything that you were, and you unfortunately had to go through it in the way that it was orchestrated for you,
Yeah.
with your leg, your healing, and there's no
Which I'm
right or
pretty
wrong.
sure, like you said, when we're in spirit form and
Yeah,
choosing this
we
life,
make these
and I
contracts.
really do
Yeah.
feel like this was part of the journey for me.
Yeah.
I really, really do feel it.
Yep.
Because if I didn't go through all of that, I wouldn't be here speaking to you, trying to
Exactly.
share my knowledge so that maybe hopefully it can help one person.
Yeah, thank you, Cynthia. That
Yeah.
that is such a beautiful I mean, beautiful in the sense that you vulnerably shared that, but like what a great example
Yeah.
of what going into that darkness could look like, because for
Yeah.
everybody it's going to be a different
Oh, and
catalyst.
it's sorry, but it's also so like it's not like you're in that for 10 years. Like I wasn't in that for 10 years, but what happened is it was this big challenge,
Mhm.
and in between the challenges there were like it was kind of like okay, you're here, there's a dark night of the soul, and then you
Yep,
kind of go
you
up
rise
here.
up
Up,
and then
and
you
then
go
another
down.
dark
Yeah,
night of the soul, and then you rise up
exactly.
and you're here.
Yeah.
And then another dark, and then you're here, and
Yeah.
you're slowly
Yes.
getting higher and higher and higher.
Exactly, because
And
every time you go down, you actually go higher.
higher,
The
yes.
more that you heal, the higher you rise, and
Yes.
it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
that's exactly how healing works.
It's like the onion we talked about, I think, in episode 2,
Exactly.
is the
Yes.
layering, right? Like you can't I feel like I just heard spirit say, like, we can't just go to the core. Like it
No.
would just send your body into a shock.
Well, you would
You're
probably
like,
combust,
yeah, it's
or
too
just,
much.
leave this planet because
Yeah.
it's just too intense.
Yes. So you need these dark
Yeah.
nights of the soul to help get you to kind of like I feel like stripping everything away to get to who you are.
Yeah, it's the metamorphosis. It's like the
The
butterfly in the
butterfly.
cocoon.
Yeah.
And so you're in that cocoon. You were in that cocoon for, let's just say 10 years, but
Yeah.
you were also going through other things in there. But after that 10 years of transforming and releasing and healing and
Mm.
growing, you got to the place where your cocoon opened, and you now transformed into this beautiful
Mm.
butterfly,
Yeah, like
lighter, more of who you truly are.
yeah, because who I was before, I
Right.
didn't love myself. I sought external uh permission,
Validation.
validation. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, external validation. I truly did not love myself. I always thought that I was not good enough. Never spoke my truth.
Mhm.
Um, Boundaries. What
Yeah.
were boundaries? No self care, no self love. Like all these things I'm listing were all individual dark nights of the souls
Yep.
to teach me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I mean, what a great way of explaining, in your personal experience, which I'm sure many people out there can completely relate to, going through physical health challenges. That's a big one.
Mm.
Physical health challenges are one of the biggest
Yeah.
catalysts for going through a spiritual awakening. But there's many different things that can catalyze that. For many
Mhm.
it was COVID. For
Mm.
many it was you know betrayal, or something that happened devastating that you witnessed, or just something. I say I received like existential
Mm.
crisis, because you reach a point where it is so intense and so you can't hide from that anymore, and it literally just
No.
blows the lid right off, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah, it's not
what the
pretty.
hell. And it's not, and
No.
it's not pretty at all, but there's dark night of the souls that
Yeah.
people can get through and
Yeah.
maneuver, but then there's those really deep ones that Cynthia went through, and I've also gone through, which I'll also share.
Mhm.
But it's just letting you know that, like, where we're at right now, and this is why it's so important that we're feeling called to do this particular topic, is I'm going to relate it to something that's happening
Yeah.
currently
Here
in
we go.
the moment.
Seatbelts on.
Seatbelts on, buckle in for the ride. But and it's no joke, but I mean
No.
it's real.
We have to
Is
bring some lightness to it too, though.
we
That's the
do.
balance of humanity.
But we're going to bring it to what's happening right now, which is the
Mm.
release of the Epstein files. And I've said it. It is the big elephant in the room that's being talked about all over the world, and it's a very heavy topic. And I know that this topic of what these Epstein files are revealing to the world is it's dark.
Yeah.
And so we're going to dive into that darkness a little bit. So if you're still interested and you want to learn about how this is going to relate to, your healing, I highly
Mm.
recommend that you just listen to the whole episode, because I promise you at the end you're going to understand why we have to talk about this. But
Yeah. It's your basically if the Epstein files are triggering you
yeah,
intensely, like lots of anger, this is
yeah,
this is for you.
yeah, and that is one of the things that's happening right now. So if you've come to that accept if you've come to that realization, and you're hearing about what's being disclosed, and there are hundreds of more of those gurus, spiritual teachers, spiritual leaders, influencers, whatever you want to call those people, are going to be released over the course of the next weeks and months. And it's going to be very upsetting for a lot of people, because we talked about spiritual, false light back in, I think
Yeah.
it was episode 2, where, which I find the timing really wild, by the way.
Yeah.
But this is really just
Sorry,
bringing,
because we
yeah,
pre-recorded that before the files came
right.
out,
We
so
didn't
we were
even
like,
know
"Whoa,
these files were coming
that's a
out.
little
So
bit
it's like
weird."
we're
Yeah,
divinely guided. I
yeah.
do believe that. Um, these Epstein files in a 3D perspective is a reflection that is showing humanity
Mm.
what darkness that each of us hold within. It's the traumas, the wounds, the ancestral baggage. It's all of the darker aspects of ourselves that we have suppressed, ignored, avoided because it's uncomfortable. And
Well, like you were saying with the ancestors,
yeah,
like how they were what did you say? They were like you could be holding on to what your ancestors did.
exactly. I
So it's
mean,
not like we're not saying like you are any like you don't have you're not
no, no,
you're
no.
not like related to what they're doing.
No,
But there's
no.
like maybe you were abused as a child,
Yep.
or there could be like ancestral
Abuse.
lineage
Yeah.
abuse, or like like it builds and builds and builds. And like we talked about in episode 4, if you're if if you're the ancestral curse
Break
breaker,
the cycle
the
breaker.
cycle
Yeah,
breaker,
exactly.
it is gonna hit you
It's
hard
going to hit you
because
hard. Yep.
it has been building
Yep.
for hundreds of years.
Hundreds if not thousands, if that makes sense. And
Mm.
and so you might be thinking, well, okay, that sounds weird. Like, why would the Epstein files connect to me? Well,
Yeah.
it does. And I'm going to reiterate what we talked about at the beginning when we first started our podcast, is everything is connected,
Mm.
and everything within is an external reflection, and everything externally is showing us as well what we have within. So it's the as within so
Mm.
without. It's the infinity symbol of energy that we are always being shown. So if you're seeing things in your external reality that is uncomfortable, it's dark, it's making you angry, it's making you fearful, it's making you sad. Yes, it is happening externally, but it's also saying, hey, what aspects of yourself are also dark, or in fear, or in pain, or what traumas or wounds are you still holding that you're not wanting to see or feel or accept or heal? Because unfortunately and fortunately,
Mm.
we have reached an energetic point
Mm.
in
I
time,
heard cleansing.
cleansing, exactly, where all that has been hidden, all that has been suppressed, everything that has been swept under the rug has to be brought to the light. And this is for
Mm.
us internally as well as collectively. And that's why
Mm.
These Epstein files are so important to talk about in relation to our personal healing. Now, we may or may not be directly impacted by what's happening. However, it indirectly and energetically, yes. Because, like Cynthia said, you know, we have ancestral imprints and energies and baggage and stories and beliefs and traumas that we carry through
Mm.
generation over generation. And many of our ancestors have gone through sexual exploitation, sexual abuse. Maybe we're trafficked. Maybe we're part of some very, very dark stuff. And you may or may not know that,
Mm.
but it's within our energetic imprint that we carry these things. And sometimes you don't have to understand it, but it's there. And whether you, maybe you are aware of it, maybe there is abuse in your family, like I grew up in a pretty a very intense disciplined family where I was abused. It's and that was going back from, to my grandparents and great grandparents. It's just how what was carried through. And I'm not blaming them. It's just that I chose to break that cycle of abuse in my family. And so this is what I'm trying to say, that if something triggers something within you, it's asking you to say, hey, what's going on? What is it that I'm feeling? What is it that I don't want to see? What
I
is,
think this is a great, if you're okay with it, to share that story of when you discovered the child trafficking
oh,
and what
yeah.
it, like what you went through and
Yes,
how you went within, because it triggered you so badly, like
it
so
did.
intensely, not
It
badly,
did. It
intensely.
did.
So what did you feel? What did you
Yeah.
go through? And what, like, how you went into, it's an example because people might be like,
Yeah.
this makes no sense. Like, this has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I'm
No
angry because
worries.
children are abused.
Yeah.
Of course, 100%, we
Yes.
all are, but we go within to see how we
Yeah.
can, what we can do to,
Yeah.
is it to help ourselves? Maybe we're triggered because we are meant to speak up and help in a bigger way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many reasons, but I think
Yeah.
sharing your
Sure.
example might put it
Sure.
into perspective, I guess.
Yeah. So again, just to reiterate, like I've gone through many awakenings or spiritual dark night of the souls. And it is going to unfold that way for many people. But for me, about 6 years ago is when I discovered, learned, and it was brought into my awareness. I wasn't even looking for this information. It just somehow, again, everything is divinely orchestrated. This came into my energy field where I was shown and I learned and discovered about child trafficking and the underground satanic pedophilia and ritual abuse that happens. And I know this is heavy and it feels unpleasant to talk about, but it's true. It's real. It's been happening for thousands of years that children have been unfortunately used for many things: organ harvesting, energy harvesting, um, adrenochrome, you name it. It's awful. So when this information came into my awareness, it put me into a really deep dark night of the soul. I went through, first of all, shock. I went into shock to the point where I almost threw up. And it was like, oh my God, I cannot, this can't be real. This cannot be real. That I did not ever, ever think that something horrible like this could ever happen to innocent young children. And it triggered me at such a deep, deep level that it put me into a 3 weeks of deep, dark depression. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I was crying. I was just in a place where I'm like, I don't know if I want to be in this world. I don't know. Like I this the dark the depth of darkness that this brought to light for me was so heavy and so intense that overwhelmed me to the point where I was like, I don't know what to do. Like the processing of this was too much for me. So I went through this 3-week journey where I literally sat in darkness. and I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with it. But what ended up happening was the more that I sat in this darkness, the more that I started to process it and really just feel like, I mean, I had to feel that really uncomfortable, dark,
Mhm.
all of those emotions of anger and vulnerability and rage. I oscillated between rage and depression, and it was wild. It was like if you saw that, you would have thought I was going through some type of like manic, but that was the emotions that I was going through. It was like intense crying, this, that. I thankfully was once again divinely guided to a coach, a spiritual coach, who again came into my energy frequency, and I was guided to seek the support and assistance of this spiritual coach who was able to hold space for me and to hear everything that I was going through, acknowledge and validate that what I was going through was okay. And that going through this process is a normal part of going through a spiritual awakening. Not everybody goes through these intense ones. Some people go through even worse intense ones. And I have actually heard of people that go through such intense deep night of the souls that they literally have a psychotic break. And what the Western medical industry would call a mental breakdown or a schizophrenic episode or whatever they diagnose or label it, those experiences are all part of what I'm speaking of. And so the Western medicine industry, unfortunately, doesn't recognize those
Mhm.
as what's happening. They just want to numb you with drugs so that you don't feel and process it. But from a
Mm.
spiritual perspective, it's your soul saying, hey, it's time for you to wake up. It's
Mhm.
time for you to shed the layers, the stories, the baggage, the pain, the trauma, everything that you've been holding, the identity that you were raised in,
Mm.
all of the programming, all of the indoctrination, everything that you've been carrying that is not yours. It's time to let that shit go. And you have to let it go through this process of breaking down. It's a death.
Mm.
It's a death of your old identity. And that's where going through this process with my spiritual coach, he helped me understand that all that was coming up in the emotions was really just aspects of myself that needed to be
Mm.
healed. And it was connected to the inner child,
The abuse.
the abuse, the control, the wounds, the just everything. And it
It's
wasn't,
multi-layered
it's
for sure.
multi-layered. It wasn't just this lifetime. This
Yeah.
is like deep ancestral shit
Mm.
that came up for me. And I, because I made the soul contract in this lifetime to go through this process because I had to heal this is how it presented to me. And so I went through this process of just diving in and working through these emotions. And my spiritual coach truly was there for me to he didn't do the work for me. All he did was just
Support you.
acknowledge what I was going through because he
Support
went
you.
through
Yeah.
it too, and that's why he was
Yeah.
helping people, right?
As the counselor supported me, I had to do the work.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just recognizing that, hey, I have work to do, and it
Yeah.
is so uncomfortable, and it is so painful, and it is
Mm.
so like overbearing. But as I went through this process through a variety of different exercises and tools and journaling and inner child work and um, working through this, as well as diving into learning more about what's been taking place to these poor children, because you can't avoid the things that are uncomfortable. You have to dive into it. So I started to understand and learn about, well, why have they been doing this to all these children? Why? And it's because if you go even further back, the world has really truly been run by darkness. And those that have been operating in darkness have been literally feeding
Mm.
upon humanity and the most vulnerable are always going to be the victims, unfortunately. So
You know what I just heard is, sorry to interrupt,
yeah,
but
that's
like,
okay.
oh, I just heard that now we're in the light age is
We
starting,
are we've entered it.
and this is why it's
Yeah.
triggering
Yeah.
so much, is because in order to be on the other end,
Yeah.
you have to get triggered and go through the process of why you're triggered, so that at
Yes.
the end you can like be that light for people and stop this shit, because
Yeah.
it's fucking done. It's enough.
Well, and so as many more people are awakening
Yeah.
to this
The more the
truth,
light,
the
the more the
more
darkness is
exactly.
going to be
And how
suppressed.
do
Yeah.
you bring light to darkness? Like this is a big one. So
Ah,
you bring
yes.
light to darkness by facing it and by
Yep.
feeling it and by healing
Processing
it,
it.
transmuting it.
Yeah.
We alchemize frequencies through our body and through our emotions that get stuck in our
Mm.
body. So
This is the that post that I, or the quote that I just saw from, I think Martin.
Martin Luther King,
Thank you.
yes.
I'm just so like, the topic's heavy, so it's hard to talk.
Hmm.
Um, and he said like you can't fight darkness with
No,
darkness, anger with anger. You have to fight it with light.
with
I mean,
light,
I'm paraphrasing, but like,
yes,
yeah, like a beautiful quote. And he's like, that's it. He's what he's saying
yeah,
is you have to. That's where the change comes,
yeah.
is with the light.
And that's why these files have been released because
Because
there is so much light here on
yeah,
earth right now
yeah.
that whatever's hidden, Cynthia, can no longer be hidden.
And what's beautiful is on the flip side of
Yeah,
that, all the light that's going to come from it, right? The darkness of these files is going to trigger so many people to
yeah,
wake up and and shine their light,
yeah,
speak their truth. So it's a beautiful, like COVID was,
yeah.
catalyst
Catalyst,
to
yep.
bringing more light to the world, so the darkness can just fucking go away. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I know it's always going to be there, but I'm just like, get down. Like, I'm done with this shit. I'm
You know
done with the
what?
dark,
And
awful
the thing
ugh,
about the darkness
stuff.
though is when we transmute that darkness, we actually
Mm,
integrate those dark aspects of ourselves.
mm.
So we see what's happening out there. We can see it's
Oh,
awful,
we rise ourselves up.
but we also in the process of going through our own darkness and transmuting and healing ourselves, we integrate those dark aspects of ourselves because you can't have light without dark. We've
Mm,
talked about that, right?
mhm.
And we're made of
The yin
both.
and yang kind of thing.
Yeah, yin and
Mm,
yang, divine masculine, divine feminine, dark light, evil good.
mm.
We are both. We
Yes.
we have to be both because we are
That's this experience.
duality in this
Yeah.
physical experience. But the problem is that many people always hide the aspects of themselves that they don't want, like the brushing under the rug. Like, well, I don't want to see those red flags. I don't want to acknowledge. I don't want to see the bad in the world. Everything, I just want to see the good, or I just want to see the good aspects of me.
Oh, I'm guilty of this.
And I'm guilty of it too. I was always,
Yeah.
I didn't want to see that, but
Yeah.
but the deeper that you suppress those dark aspects of you, or or the more that you deny the truth that's being revealed,
Mm, the more
the
it's
harder
hidden.
it's going to get, because if you keep attaching to, I don't want to see it, I just want to stay here, it's going to get a lot more uncomfortable for you. And I'm sorry to
Mm,
say this, but we have reached a point right now where everybody is being asked
mm.
to transmute not only your own
Yeah.
but also to assist collectively, because us by
Collective.
sharing
The
this,
community. Yeah.
we are assisting the collective by doing this. So having gone through
I mean,
your
it's
dark
not
night of the soul,
comfortable.
it
I'm
is
gonna tell you, we're
not.
not happy. Like, I mean,
No,
we're
no.
we're humbled and honored
Yep.
to be in this space, but it's not it's not comfortable.
It's and that's why most people don't want to go through it, or would
Yeah.
rather, numb or distract or
Mm,
avoid. And so this is where we start to fractalize ourselves when we
mm,
deny those aspects of ourselves. It's ultimately saying to our inner child that we ignore that inner child, and that
Mm.
inner child is like,
I
hey,
want to speak.
I want to speak. I
Yeah.
want to. I want to be seen. I want to
Yeah.
release all of this heaviness,
So
and I'm
we're like,
carrying.
okay, we love you and we will speak. And then
Right.
the ego part's like, oh God. But then the child, we're like, we love you, we support you, inner child.
Right.
Like, speak your soul's truth.
Yes, speaking your soul's truth. And so this was the reason why we needed to talk about this. And it is heavy. And I know this is going to
Mhm.
trigger
But it's
people.
almost
But
like sorry, but the
yeah,
light, like, so it's triggering to awaken the light within them, so that
exactly.
collectively we can rise the
Yes.
light, and so that this abuse can stop.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Yep. And like, as uncomfortable as it is, there's going to be a lot more that's going to be disclosed in the, like I said, in the coming weeks, months, years, because we have to see it. We have to acknowledge the
Mm.
darkness. We have to see what has been done upon humanity so that we collectively can actually make a decision to say we do not want to do this anymore.
Mm.
We have to.
Oh,
It's
I just
part.
heard it's like you did that for yourself. Like, I think
Yeah.
when episode 3 or 4, you talked about how you did that for yourself, so it didn't, what you stopped in yourself so that it didn't affect your children. This is what we're doing collectively. So
Yeah.
we are like collectively saying enough is enough so that
Exactly.
it doesn't affect the future children.
Yeah.
So it's like personal and
As
collective.
within, so
Oh,
without.
oh
And
my
I keep coming back to
you
that
do.
because it
Yeah.
is the way how energy
The infinity
works.
sign.
It
Yeah.
works. Like, we
Oh
have to
wow.
recognize there
Yeah.
is always going to be an ebb and a flow. And so what you do is going to impact the external, and the external is always reflecting back to you what's
Oh,
happening internal. So
wow.
the
Yeah.
Epstein files is showing the world right now, hey, this is darkness that's been happening for a long time, and it's been hidden, it's been suppressed. Yes, it's evil. Yes, it's dark on a three-dimensional energetic field. It's awful.
Mhm.
But if we can just shift that and go to a higher perspective and say, okay, we've reached a time here
Mhm.
collectively that we're ready to see this. We're ready to be shown what has been taking place so that we can take that light, we can shine on that dark, and we're going to transmute it up back into love and light.
Mm.
We're integrating it. So not only are we integrating our own dark aspects, we're integrating the collective darkness.
Heal yourself, heal the world.
Healing.
Yeah.
That's how you heal. There is no other
Mm.
way around it. And I
No.
know, like, there's so much, and I hate to say this, Cynthia, and it may sound judgmental, but we talked about this as well in episode 2, I believe, about the false light, the false gurus, the
Mm.
false spiritual teachers, where everything is love and light and fluff, and you wear,
It's
you
so
see it.
true.
You see people like on the stage, and they're wearing their white flowy robes, and they're preaching, and look what's happening, my friends.
Yeah.
Many of them that have done that are now being exposed for not being truthful.
Mm.
There were false light, and this unfortunately is also another dark aspect into spirituality because it's been infiltrated
Mm.
by the dark,
Mhm. Oh, that's right.
wolves in sheep's
Yeah.
clothing. And so there's many different
Fuck. Has
layers
such a
to
new meaning
this,
now.
right?
Because we did
Wolves,
record that,
yeah,
like I said,
we
like
did.
weeks ago. So the fact that we're
And what,
learning what we learned just now,
right?
it's like, holy shit, that has a whole new meaning.
You, because
That's
you
so
see it
cool.
from a different lens, you
Yeah.
have a bigger perspective.
Like,
And
yeah,
Cynthia,
filters are being taken off.
they're being taken off, and you can see it. It's
Oh,
like, whoa. And so
yeah.
going back to these, like, I call them false gurus,
Yeah.
who are now being outed for crimes against humanity. um, they never practiced what they preached. They sat on a pedestal and they told people, this is what you do, this is, let's do this, it's love and light and this and that. But they never practiced, they never integrated their own dark shadows.
Mm.
They bypassed their own
Which is
healing,
so classic darkness.
which is very classic darkness. And so all of that's being brought to the light. And so I
Yeah.
guess you and I, when we first got guided to do this podcast, right away we both knew that we were going to be doing this from a place of
Raw
raw
truth.
truth, transparency,
Unfiltered.
authenticity,
Yeah.
because we've done that crappy work, and we're
Yeah.
still doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we'll stop till we're in spirit world, but
No.
it's also like to say like you're not alone.
Yeah, and you're
It's
not
normal,
broken.
and yes, and you're
You're
not
not
it's normal.
broken.
This is part of the process. Also, I keep hearing, and so I gotta say this because they're
Yeah.
like repeating it. I'm like, okay, okay, I got
Yeah, please share
it.
it.
Is that remember, you as a spirit, you as a soul chose to be here at this moment because you have
Mm.
a beautiful, powerful, strong light. I think in episode 2 or 3, we talked about how powerful your intentions are,
Yes,
your heart, your
exactly.
intentions. I will
Yeah.
say this till the day I die. You are powerful. That love in your heart is powerful. And that's why it's being triggered, is because it needs to be seen and healed. And so you can get out and you can speak up and you can be that light. We all chose to be here because we all have this powerful light within us,
Yes, we
and
do.
we all chose to go through these triggers and these challenges and these dark nights of the souls because we need to step up. We need to. I'm just seeing one of my posts here that I took off of, I think, Facebook, and they said your job is not to wake up the sheep.
Mm-mm.
Your time, it's your time to wake up the other lions. You
Yes.
have to wake up
Yes.
and roar that powerful light you have in you
Yep.
because you chose to be
Yep.
here because of your light,
Yep.
your beautiful light. And the more that we wake up, the more we all tap into this power within us,
Yeah.
the more we're going to like eliminate, like we're just going to stomp on that fucking darkness, all those evil people, all that bullshit that has been going on for hundreds of fucking years. It's done. Like
Yeah.
it's done. The light has won, and
Yep.
now we just have to catch up in
Yes.
this in the world.
Yes.
I
That's a
guess the
great explanation.
yeah.
In
Woo!
the spirit
The lion
world,
roared.
yeah, energetically in the higher vibrational realms, the light has won.
Yeah,
But because we're still here on the
it's
physical
more
plane,
dense.
we have a lag to
Yeah,
catch up to that.
lag is a
So
good word.
physicality, we're going through it now and we're getting there. And
Yeah,
so when you're going through this dark night of the soul, remember that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Even if you
yeah.
can't see it, it's
Hold that.
there.
Yeah, I just have to say
Yeah.
for both of us, I think it was like we had nothing like like we lost faith. We lost like I was questioning everything.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
but what I held on to that I didn't even, I guess, realize I was holding on to was hope.
Mhm.
That like little thread of hope that it was
Mhm.
gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And so just if you're in that spot, know that we were too. And to hold that
Mhm.
hope and just try the best you can. Be aware of who comes into your existence because for me, the counselor came in, for you, the life coach came in. Like just whatever, wherever you feel guided, and I know it's hard in that moment,
Mhm.
trust to get that help,
Yeah.
to hold that hope because it will get better.
Yeah,
I
I mean, if
promise
you
you.
exactly, you're right. And
It's just
there's no coincidences. There's no coincidences in you going through it. And if you're saying to yourself like, why is this happening to me? It's because it has to happen to you because
yeah,
it's part of your evolution. It's part of your
light,
stepping up.
your words,
Yep.
like what
And
yeah, what
exactly.
you're going to shine through.
Yeah, because there's big stuff that
There's
you've
a
got to do in
there's a
this life.
beautiful lotus under all that shit, that muck.
Yeah.
And it's just it wants to blossom. And
Yeah.
that just hold on to that hope. Like you will, that beautiful blossom is within you because um
Yeah.
that's why you're going through the dark night.
I love the lotus that you talked
Mm.
about because,
I would see that a lot in my dark night.
yeah, the lotus is in the
That
dark
like
mud.
yeah.
That's where it grows from. And
Oh yes, thank you. In case
right?
people don't know, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know, the lotus grows in the dark mud and it comes through that heavy, that denseness, that thickness. It's dark. It's dark, right?
Mm.
But when it comes out, it
Oh, it's
blooms.
beautiful.
That's the transformation. You have to go
Oh.
through that mud, that
Mm.
that guck, because once you get through it, the blessing is there. The beautiful,
Mm.
beautiful lotus is now blossomed.
Mm.
That's you.
Yeah,
When you're
that's your
going through the
soul.
dark night of the soul, that
Yeah.
is you. Your soul rises and it wakes and opens, and it's like,
Yeah. So your soul, the flower in the muck is like closed,
yeah,
and so your soul is closed in that, and then all the muck is like your environment and all the shit that's happening, and then you have to work through that
Yeah.
so that you can blossom out
Yeah.
and shine your soul to the world.
Exactly.
Oh, beautiful
It is
goddess.
it is beautiful.
Love it.
And this is soul healing, my friends. Like Dark
Mm.
Night of the Soul. It's they gave it the name Dark Night of the Soul because the soul has to go through this in order to be rebirthed. It's awakening. It's saying, "Hey, I it's time for me to now step into who I truly am." That's what it is. So, as uncomfortable
Mm.
as it is the biggest blessing and the
Yeah.
biggest gift that you will ever receive
Yeah.
because when you get through it, you are a completely different
Yeah.
person,
So,
right?
I mean, I always say this. I'm so freaking grateful. I don't want to do it again, but I'm so grateful. Like I would not have it any other way,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
duality of being human.
it's intense. It's intense
It's
and
not
yeah,
fun,
it's
no.
not for the
No.
faint of heart, but
Oof,
we
that's
all
why, because we're
yeah,
all powerful, right? So that's
exactly.
why it's happening, because we have the power within us to get through that muck and to shine our light.
Yeah, and I just got something
Yeah.
that I have to say. I just
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard that so there the catalysts that we have many catalysts that
Mm.
come to us at a certain point in life where it's like it's time for your soul to wake up. So for many it was COVID. For many it was a
Health
physical
challenge.
health
Yeah.
challenge. For many it's the death of a loved one or the death of a
Yeah.
pet. For many
Yeah.
it could be like I said earlier, it could be that you go through a very intense situation that just breaks you apart. These are all just part of when your soul is ready, these things happen. It's
Mm.
all divinely orchestrated. You see, nothing happens to you, it happens for you. And
Yeah.
if you avoid it at some point in your life because it was destined, because you made a soul contract that you were going to wake in this life and you got big stuff to do, is going to reach you at some point.
I'm
So,
sorry, it reminds me of the story I
right?
have to share later. But
It's
yeah.
like you can avoid it over here, but at some point it's going to come back at you and it
Yeah.
might come back even more intense. So when it does hit you, instead of like rejecting it and avoiding it, it's just like surrender to it because it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift. And it's like, wow, if you can just see it as a gift, if you're in it right now,
Mm.
just remind yourself, like, okay, it sucks,
Mm.
but this is a gift. My soul is
Yeah.
telling me that it's time for me to grow, to shed layers, to evolve, to heal because when I get through this, I'm going to be stepping into a higher version
Mm.
of myself. I'm going to be
Mm.
stepping into my original or my true self. I'm going to be stepping into my power and I'm going to be stepping into my purpose, which why are we here today,
Yeah.
Cynthia? We've gone through the darkness many times and we
Mm.
realize that it everything that's culminated to this point of us now, our purpose is
Yeah.
to help you and we're
I know.
sharing.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, spirit's like, this is what you got to do. And we're like,
Yeah,
ah.
it's like I don't know, but it's like
Spirit's like, no, this is what you got to do.
yes.
There was a lot of back. It took a year, I think,
It
for us to
did.
be like,
Me
okay,
too.
finally.
It's
Spirit's like,
so
no, no.
true.
We understand we have to listen to the voice because we don't want it to ramp up. So we're like, okay, fine, we'll do it.
It's
We trust you,
true.
Spirit.
It's so
Please let
true.
us land.
Yeah, it's like, okay, girls, I know
Jump off
you're
the cliff. Then where do we land?
time to do it. It's time to do it. And it's been uncomfortable, but you know
Yeah.
what? Like we were ready. Our souls
Yeah.
were
Our
ready.
souls are ready. Yeah.
And yeah, and so this is the gift that we want to give you is that there's nothing wrong with you
Yeah.
and that you can get through
Mm.
it
And we love
and
you. We're
we
so
love
proud of you.
you.
Thank you for going through it and then for coming out and shining your light,
Mhm.
because we need everybody, every light, everyone
Yeah.
to collectively shift things.
Yeah.
So we just send you so much love because
Yeah.
it's not easy. We
And
know.
I just saw in my mind's eye, it's like every person that wakes goes through this process, it's like
Mm-hmm.
their light comes on,
Mm.
and it's like all around the world. You see all of these
Yes.
lights are coming up and coming up and
Mm.
coming up, and there's so many people right now that are
I
awakening
love
and
it.
their lights are coming on.
Mm.
And this is why the light, like we say, the light's
Yep.
already won,
Yep.
because
Mm.
it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we forgot that we were light. And
Yeah.
so we're waking up to our light. And we have to shine that light because that's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We are the light. We are truth. We are source. We are God.
And we're
We
here
are
to
love.
do
We
that
are,
job.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the soul is just shining through. And that's
Yeah.
that's what this is really all about. So yeah, so Cynthia, before we move on to our next part of this episode, I just wanted to just kind of like bring everything to like a little bit more oh gosh,
Full circle.
full circle. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, I drew a blank. So the dark night of the soul, what's actually happening beneath the surface when you're going through this experience? And I'm just going to read a few things that I had written down as notes, okay? And this is the whole purpose of this experience is to be shown, your soul is showing you old patterns, wounds, and illusions that have been hidden that are now surfacing.
Mm.
The soul is showing you the ego structures that you've had, that are starting to soften, the old identity, it's the inner child and the shadows that are rising to be seen. It's your soul calling you towards authenticity and truth. And it's a shedding, it's not a breaking.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that this can kind of just briefly again just reiterate what we shared in greater depth earlier. But this is ultimately what's happening in this process, in this death
Mm.
process, because it is a death,
Yeah.
right? It's a death.
Well, yeah, because it was all it's what you knew
Yeah.
and what you thought was true,
Yeah.
and then you realize that it was just a facade, I guess, but you needed it to survive, and now it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's hard to face that. It's hard
Yeah.
to face the knowing that you weren't who you really wanted to be. I'm just getting major goosies on tinglies on my crown chakra.
Interesting,
Woo!
because I just went like
You
this.
too.
I'm like, oh, what's going on?
I'm sorry. I just
Yeah.
like take a moment because
Yeah.
I'm like, woo! It's
Uh-huh.
like
Uh-huh.
he's tingling, tingling. Okay, we got some
Yep.
spirit channeling through.
So, Cynthia, do you want to just like maybe talk about
Oh,
what are some things that people
hmm.
do to avoid this
Yeah.
discomfort?
Well, I mean, like I told you, when I shared before about the story about how I was looking for those pills.
Mm,
I just wanted to, I guess I didn't know, but I just wanted to numb the pain. I wanted it to go away. I didn't want to face it. So, addiction,
yeah,
I
that's a
would
big
say,
one.
and it doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. It could
Yeah,
be anything, shopping,
yeah,
watching TV like forever. I don't
yeah.
know, binge watching. It could be anything, right?
Just
It's
addictions. Yeah, anything
addictions in
that. Yeah,
general. Um, so that's like avoidance,
yeah.
right? It could be like placing your attention on everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Another avoidance technique. Any avoidance technique, I think.
Yeah, distractions.
Distractions.
Right.
Yeah. So that's about the numbing. Pretending to be okay.
Mm.
I did that a lot, a lot, a
That's more
lot.
common than you
Actually did
think.
that for the 10 years that I was going through everything.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until my final uh dark night of the soul that I was like, I'm fucking done telling everybody I'm okay. So like they're like, how are you? I'm not fucking good. I was like, I'm so done
Yeah.
trying to make you like, not that they're wanting to, but it was like I felt I had to make other people not feel uncomfortable. So I would shadow, like
Yeah.
fake it.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So that's a big one.
Yep.
Trying to fix it quickly.
Yep.
that does not work. And seeking external guidance,
Mm.
which is different than seeking, I think, external help.
Well,
Like, because we both
yeah.
needed some support, but not
Yeah.
like we
Well,
still
the
had to
quick
do the work.
fix. Yeah, like
Yeah.
well, I think what you mean is seeking external guidance for someone to fix you.
Yes.
But that's
Right. Like,
giving your power away to
yes.
somebody outside of
And that
you.
won't work.
No.
Yeah.
But seeking guidance in a
In a,
healthy way
yeah.
is important
Yeah, like
because
counseling, like the life coach that
coaching,
you, yeah.
yeah,
Like,
because they're holding a space for you to learn how to do your own healing.
it's the
It's
support. Yeah,
different than
exactly.
having someone tell you what to do or pretending to heal you because nobody can heal you.
Yeah.
They can only help facilitate the healing, but you
Yeah.
have to do the
That's
work. So
it.
that's the
That's a good
difference.
word.
Yeah.
Facilitate. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great, Cynthia. Thank you. Because it's a human nature to avoid the discomfort. And also too, on a more collective scale,
Mm-hmm.
because humanity has gotten very comfortable at avoiding uncomfortable
Mm.
truths.
Mm.
um Ignorance, avoidance, denial became the norm for humanity.
Mhm.
And
Now it's
the
like,
universe is like,
nope, we've
no
got to show
more,
you.
because
And
we've
it's
gone.
intense.
Yeah, it's
I mean, the
intense
Epstein files right
because
there, COVID,
exactly.
it's intense
Yeah,
because it was being,
exactly.
yeah,
Because
swiped for
we've
so long.
been denying these truths for so
Yeah.
long. I mean, there's been people that have been speaking about these and have been called conspiracy theorists. Same with
Yeah.
COVID. Like, how many people have stepped out to share these truths and they've always been attacked or denied or censored? I mean,
Mm.
I've gone through this myself, so I'm speaking from experience. And ironically, a lot of what I've shared over the last 5 or 6 years has come to light. Now, I'm not saying this to say I told you so because that's
No.
ego. I'm simply sharing because it's like, it's uncomfortable to hear people share things that you don't want to look at. And
Yeah.
part of my soul mission was to speak truth. And that's been part of my gift and working through that myself as well. So I've spoken a lot about uncomfortable truths, and I guess that's why I'm more comfortable speaking about it now, because I've had to go through a lot of that
Yeah.
shedding and healing and soul work. And this is part of my mission. So when I speak to people about things and they get really uncomfortable, they get very defensive, and it's like, hey, listen, like, you don't have to agree. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
You
And
can learn to hear with an open mind and not get upset. But because I'm speaking more collectively now, it's because
mhm.
we've all done this for so long. We just avoid, avoid, avoid. The universe is like, no more. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot avoid this, and it's
No.
coming out with a vengeance. And I'm telling
And
you,
it's part of, it's where we are
it's where
in
we
the
are,
earth rising,
and we're
right?
ready.
So,
The collective is
yeah.
ready.
Yeah, there's enough
And
of us that are
yeah.
here on the earth that are supposed to waken our light
Yep.
to heal this shit. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you're here, you got a awesome, awesome uh job to help
Yeah.
humanity, right? Like, and
Yeah.
don't take it heavy. Just, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. I mean, you
Yeah,
got to go through a little bit of the heavy, but that's okay.
it's
It's
okay.
just part of the process. It's,
Yeah.
I just a great analogy to, when you get a cold and
Oh
you feel like shit for
yeah,
a
that's
week or
such a
two.
good
You can't
analogy.
smell anything, you
Yeah.
can't taste anything. You're like, oh, I feel like crap. Life sucks. You know that you're in that dark, thick, yucky cold.
Yeah.
But after 7, 8, 10 days, you're feeling fantastic. And
Yeah.
you almost feel better because now you appreciate
Yeah.
health because of what you've gone through. So,
Yeah, that's such a good
right?
analogy. Yes.
It's like you got to go through that. Oh,
Ugh.
it's so gross and awful. And but when you get through the other side,
So
you're
that's
like,
like the physical part of it. And Dark Night
yes,
of the Soul is like the emotional more part of it.
exactly,
Although it is also
exactly.
physical, but yeah.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
do kind of go
Go together.
together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I
Oh
thought that
wow.
was a great
That's a great
analogy,
analogy.
because most of the time when we get at the end of our cold or flu, or we've had the stomach flu for 4 days, and now you're like, oh, I can eat solids again,
Yeah, you're like, I love you,
right?
crackers.
It's like, oh, Thank you. And you appreciate what
Yeah.
you went through because now you know that good
Mm,
health. Like you're grateful for what you've gone through because you can appreciate that
mm,
good health you have. So it's the same thing.
yeah.
And so we just wanted to share that and just bring light to the darkness,
Yeah.
truth to what needs to be
Mm.
seen and felt and experienced. And
So I
yeah,
think we're gonna make this a two-parter
yeah,
because
it's a big
it was
one.
really heavy.
Oh yeah, that was heavy.
It was heavy. So I think for the homework, the takeaway, tea time takeaway, it's just gonna be to like integrate this. Just hear what we said, like just relax in the bath or like just
Mhm.
let it just sit with you because I know it's heavy, right? So it
Yeah,
needs time to process. Also, I just want to touch on a few things
yeah.
before we wrap, because we talked about all of this dark night, and if you're in it, you're like, okay, that's great, thanks. What now?
Mm.
And we'll go into that more in part two. But
Yes.
just few things that helped us. So counseling, um, life coach, a spiritual life coach, which Conchetta is, and her website is in the
Description.
description. So if you feel called to reach out, reach out to her. Um, just be aware of what's if there's somebody like maybe there's a counselor that just came into your life all of a sudden and you feel called, make that call, right? Call them and set an appointment up. If there's a spiritual teacher that you feel called, whatever you feel called to, that might help
That you
us,
resonate
that you
with.
resonate with,
That you
that might help
resonate with.
facilitate
Yeah.
the coming out of this muck.
Yeah.
Really sit with it and feel and reach out to that person.
Yeah.
Again, meditation, listening to the inner voice is huge. I will be putting more and more meditations on my Substack that hopefully might help if it resonates with you. And like we talked about in episode 2, grounding techniques. So you can go back in episode 2 and watch that.
Mhm.
Episode 3, we talked about having some time and connecting with you, the you dictionary. What does it feel like when I feel triggered? What does it feel like when I feel safe? These
Mhm.
are really good to help you understand what your body is trying to tell you in this
Yeah.
shift. Episode 4, we talked about writing. So for me, writing was huge, writing my emotions. Automatic writing is what we
Mhm.
talked about.
Yeah.
So go back to those episodes, whatever, if anything feels like it resonates, go back to those episodes and give it a listen, um, just to help you, um, if anything resonates, to help you in this moment. And then next week, we're going to get into part 2, where we go deep dive more into kind of the inner healing and what we've done,
Yeah.
because we've done all of that and more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's great, Cynthia. Thank you. And before we sign off, I just want to say make sure that you subscribe, like, share this video, because
mm,
I'm sure there's many people out there that
mm,
need to hear this information. And I think if you're okay with it, I just like to end off with one last thing. Um, please have compassion for yourself.
mm, mhm,
Give yourself the time, give yourself the space, and really just be okay with not being okay.
mm.
That's
Tea time truth bomb.
really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just have compassion for yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
whew, anyways,
Hmm. I think we'll end with these bells
yes.
too, because it feels like we need to have
Yes,
some energy
we
clearing after
do.
that.
And please stay tuned for the next episode where we're going to continue part 2 to this
Hmm.
topic, okay?
Much love.
Much love.
Bye.